Hey guys, this is Brutal Bob Evans from Hangs with Bob Seminars and TheWrestleLife.com, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment, one of my favorite podcasts in the whole wide world.
Hello, and welcome to the show. It's Wrestling with Entertainment, bringing you the latest exclusive breaking news, previewing and reviewing the latest shows from WWE, AEW, New Japan, everything in between every Saturday, and interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Wednesday on YouTube and CastBox. Sponsored by Rogue Energy. Use promo code Wrestling with E for 10% off your next purchase. I am, of course, your host, James J. And for our SummerSlam Showdown Tournament, our MC for the night, the American Scooter Dust.
Hi.
This is your time to introduce us, Scooter.
Now. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, good to be back with you after so long. Although I'm not sure how long I've been gone for. I've been in the void. But if you were with us for our Mania Madness tournament, then the same rules are pretty much going to apply. Us four are picking our favorite matches throughout the history of SummerSlam, and you, the fans, once again, will choose via a series of Twitter polls which matches advance and which matches fall to the wayside. We're going to try and do this much quicker than we did the Mania Madness tournament, so it all wraps up around SummerSlam weekend. Damn the WWE for putting SummerSlam on a Saturday.
Bastards.
So, you know, who knows? Maybe you may even hear the final results live on the show before SummerSlam. Who knows? But this is draft style. We're not making it as complicated as this as last time. And I have selected who is going to take the first pick here through random.org. First up will be Kaliko.
Who are the participants exactly, Scooter?
This is how I'm introducing them.
Alright.
Yes, our first pick is, of course, the leader of Squad, the one, the only, the well-hung Kaliko Yachts.
I'm just letting you know I'm here to redeem myself because ain't none of my picks getting made. Daddy needs the picks, baby. Daddy needs the draft picks.
Second, of course, is me, your friendly neighborhood Scooter Dust. Third is our patriarch, maybe our matriarch, we don't know. The one, the only James J. And it's a great day for wrestling. And, of course, our very special guest will be rounding out the pack from the Gr8ful Yardy podcast, Drew!
Yeah. Fourth pick. I'll just do what the Raptors did pick and go right off the board and scare everybody.
And then, of course, the fourth pick, Drew will move to first spot, Kaliko will move to second, I will move to third, James will move to fourth, and so on. We're not going to put any really time limits on this because they didn't really make any sense last time, and nobody bothered to tell me otherwise. So there are no exceptions to match picking this time around. So Undertaker matches are fair game. No trading of matches since it didn't take place last time, and I doubt you can make anybody convince you to give them a match. So with that, we will, James, we're going to kick things off, and the first pick of the SummerSlam Showdown Tournament goes to Kaliko.
All right. First pick, Bret Owen SummerSlam 94.
Damn you.
There's a bracket buster before it even began.
Any particular reason why? I guess not.
Yeah, I think that's pretty simple.
Yeah,
All
I'm
right.
pretty simple. Brett Owen, we all know where it went. That was actually the inaugural winner of the WrestleMania damn tournament at WrestleMania 10, but they got to run it back in a steel cage. And it was a masterpiece. Dave Meltzer's only 5-star match from SummerSlam. Boom.
All right. Next is my first pick in this SummerSlam Showdown Tournament. And I'm going. I have two number one picks, and I'm debating. You know what? I'm going with it. Brock Lesnar versus Kurt Angle, SummerSlam 2003.
Ooh.
The only match in recorded history where Brock is tapped clean.
That is not actually true, but okay.
You're not counting The Undertaker and Brock at SummerSlam at
No, I'm
2015.
counting the Survivor Series match where Benoit made him tap clean. That same year.
That wasn't a singles match, though.
Alright, fair enough.
Fair enough. All right. James, your first pick.
I do declare that my first pick in this SummerSlam Showdown Tournament is Chris Benoit versus Rob Van Dam from SummerSlam
Wow.
2002.
Wow. Again, James is the first man to bring up the name of Chris Benoit, and probably the only man who will bring up the name of Chris Benoit.
Yeah,
In fact, he'll probably bring it up again in his second pick. I almost guarantee it.
No.
And this SummerSlam 2002 Nassau Coliseum, I was in attendance. It's a heck of an event. All right, Drew, round out our first round for us, please.
All right, since I'm the old head of the group, I'm going to SummerSlam 1997, Mankind versus
No!
Helmsley.
Oh, that was my other first pick. Oh. What did the I believe that was the last traditional match to feature the old blue steel cage.
Yeah, the blue steel cage. Yep.
Yep.
Interesting, we got two cage matches so far.
All right. So now it will be. So now, Drew, you get to make your second pick immediately.
All right. I'm going to keep it a little old school again, and I'm going to say Chris Jericho versus Chris Benoit, 2 out of 3 falls.
That was the other one I was thinking of.
That was a good one.
SummerSlam 2000.
Yep.
All right. Kaliko, you're next.
With my second pick, I will pick Bret Hart versus the British Bulldog, SummerSlam 1992, Wembley Stadium, the only SummerSlam to close out for the Intercontinental Championship.
You know, I was waiting for somebody to pick this, and on the surface, it's a great match. But if you know the personal history going into it, it changes your view of the match entirely.
Oh yeah. The whole story is in it, and that's why we pick it, to teach these kids the history, the culture, right. For the culture.
You know what? I'm going to pick a match from that same event. It's almost symbolic in a way of this would really be the last face versus face title match for a while. And I am picking Randy Savage versus the Ultimate Warrior, SummerSlam 1992.
Interesting.
All right. James?
My second pick in this tournament will be CM Punk versus Brock Lesnar from 2013.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
All right.
That match was great. You had to be there to see that match. That match was crazy.
If you were on the floor for that match, which I was, it was the most incredible thing in the world. You couldn't bottle that feeling.
I was in the emergency room that night.
Interesting how we all, where we all was during that match.
No, I was in the suites. I was in the suites watching that match.
I think
I
you
was
were
out.
the only one at home.
I was at home, chilling in the basement watching it. I was at home.
All right. James, you kick us off with our third round.
My third pick is a little bit of a throwback. Bret Hart versus The Undertaker from 1997 with special guest referee Shawn Michaels.
Wow. Interesting. All right. All right, Drew, your
That
third
was
pick.
another pick, man. He's just stealing all my picks.
All right, because I was in attendance for this one, and I went back and watched it recently. I'm gonna say SummerSlam 2004, JBL versus The Undertaker.
Ooh, interesting.
Ooh.
Ooh, that was a good one.
I think that's one of the only matches that Undertaker got booed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Kaliko.
Ooh, with the third pick on Kaliko SummerSlam Showdown Squad, I am going to go John Cena versus Daniel Bryan SummerSlam 2013. That match was granted, yes, CM Punk and Lesnar stole the show, but the crowd was in it for Bryan and Cena, to the point James literally got a chair just because somebody was pissed that Daniel Bryan got cashed in.
Yes,
Like,
that is true.
I wish I had knew that. I would have been on the floor snatching them.
All right. To end off our third round, I'm going for another SummerSlam. Well, it's the same SummerSlam in which I was in attendance, and I am picking the unsanctioned match from 2002, Shawn Michaels, Triple H.
Classic.
Yeah, that's a classic.
Classic match.
And this means I kick off the fourth round. And I'm throwing a very interesting wild card into this mix. Only because of the ramifications of this match. Nobody really realized the importance of it because it was the right last name, but the wrong person to hold it. I'm picking from SummerSlam 2003, Eric Bischoff versus Shane McMahon.
Interesting. Why?
Because it is the actual first time a Bischoff and a McMahon meet in the ring in a one-on-one contest.
Interesting.
And who could forget Bischoff's excellent delivery of, "Coach, introduce this piece of shit to the steel steps." All right, James, your last pick. Don't waste it.
My last pick will be Randy Orton versus Christian from SummerSlam 2011.
Quick question: did we all just read Bleacher Report's top 25 matches and pick?
No.
No.
No. But we know where you got your picks from.
I know you snitched on yourself, homie.
You're kind of exposing yourself right now.
Yeah, ratting on yourself, fam.
Oh no, I
Wikipedia.
have my list in front of me. I have it in front of me the whole time. All right, Drew, your final pick.
All right, I'm going off the board, completely off the board here. This is nostalgic for me because I was a kid at the time, and me and my dad were heavily into wrestling back then.
I know what he's going to pick.
It's going to be from the very first SummerSlam. They had a special guest referee of Jesse the Body Ventura, and that is the Mega Powers, which were Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage, with Miss Elizabeth going up against the Mega Bucks, which is Andre the Giant and Ted DiBiase, with Bobby the Brain Heenan and Virgil in their corner.
Well, our first SummerSlam pick from the 80s.
Yeah.
And probably our only pick from the 80s.
There were some other matches on this card that I could have picked and said, and to be honest with you, as the first SummerSlam, there's some very, very influential wrestlers on this card. Dynamite Kid was on this card. Rick Rude was on this card. This was when the Ultimate Warrior beat Honky Tonk Man in 30 seconds. So there's a lot of places I could have went, but just how hot the Mega Powers and that whole storyline with Hulk and Macho Man and Miss Elizabeth and how that turned out to be what it was, going from a year from WrestleMania 4 all the way to WrestleMania 5 with all the inner workings and you have jealousy in your eye for Miss Elizabeth and all of that stuff. It, to me, the storyline wise of that whole Mega Power thing, that's what made me choose the match, plus the nostalgia, and plus it's from the 1980s.
You have jealousy in your eyes for Miss Elizabeth. Oh, yeah. All right. There's one match I really thought one of you would pick, but let's see if Kaliko brings it home with the final pick of the SummerSlam Showdown Tournament.
Oh man, so much pressure. There's so many matches to pick, and I'm just thinking, where should I go? No, I'm gonna go with the most inexplicable reason someone interfered in a match ever, and it is John Cena versus Seth Rollins, winner take all, SummerSlam, because John Cena was trying to tie the record, and Jon Stewart inexplicably, for no reason, just jumps in the match. However, that suit, that outfit Seth Rollins had on was fire, and the match was really, really great up until that point. It solidified Seth Rollins as a legit champ.
I mean, I guess you could say Jon Stewart was sort of the peacemaker in that match.
He did what the people wanted. How about that?
The Suicide Squad in theaters and on HBO Max.
We're not getting paid for that.
Who cares? I already watched it. All right. There we have it. A very interesting field of matches. One match I really expected to see on here, and I really thought Drew would pick this. I really thought he would pick Bret Hart versus Mr. Perfect from '91.
Here's the thing. It was on my list. It was on my list. I also had Shawn Michaels and Mr. Perfect from '93 was on my list as well.
Yes, that's a very underrated match.
Yeah, Shawn Michaels Razor 2 was on my list.
That was on my list as well. That was that was the debated one to be the first pick.
The only match on my list that none of you picked, Kurt Angle, Eddie Guerrero from 2004.
Yeah. Damn.
But I feel like the one from 2004 wasn't as good as the one from Mania. I'm a little surprised that Eddie Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio in the ladder match didn't get picked.
Well, I think that's for a very obvious reason.
Because Dominic is a wrestler now?
I'm surprised Randy Orton and Chris Benoit didn't get picked.
Yeah.
No.
I'm shocked there too. Yeah.
For Guerrero Mysterio, 5 words. Where the hell is Vicky?
Yeah. Yeah, Vicky wasn't involved in that, was she?
She was supposed to. She missed her cue.
Ah. Also, another match I had a Taker match. Taker and Edge Hell in a Cell in 08.
I actually had that as well.
Yeah, I had that one.
Had a couple RVD matches, RVD and Jeff Hardy for the hardcore title match.
That was a good one. Yes.
Nobody went. Anybody have TLC on their list?
I thought about it, but I kind of felt like it may have been like cheating.
See, I was thinking CM Punk, Jeff Hardy, 20.
I had that one on my list as well.
2009.
Yeah, I had that on my list as well.
I feel like you could do this whole tournament with just CM Punk matches because he had some really great SummerSlam matches through the years.
Yes.
Basically him and Cena, like the last 10 years.
Yeah.
That's a very interesting idea for a tournament in between the big ones.
Like choose a wrestler and just go through and have a full tournament with their matches.
Yeah, but we don't. But in that case, we'd only pick 2. Just make it short and sweet.
Yeah,
that sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
One thing that I kind of noticed was none of the ladies were represented in this tournament. No women's matches were chosen. Now, does that kind of play more to, them not getting as much representation at SummerSlam, or just maybe overlooking it at this point?
I can speak for myself. Back in the day, to be honest with you, because SummerSlam's 33 years old, and there was not a lot of female matches until you got to the Attitude Era. To be honest with you, Attitude Era and on were where the women's matches were, and I don't think a lot of times when you're looking at the card or looking at the matches or even taking a peek at them, you're really saying, "Oh, are they giving me match quality? Was the storyline going into it making sense?" That was a major problem with me picking any women's match, and because to me, booking wise, it just didn't pique my interest. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand.
I would also say that the uptick in women's wrestling at SummerSlam didn't really happen until 2016, and I think we wanted to at least go through the history of SummerSlam more than the recent last 5 years. I thought that in my mind would be almost a little bit unfair.
Very true.
I know personally, and I kind of wish I thought of this. I was really thinking about putting Barry Horowitz in this tournament.
Oh yes.
Is that the one where he beats Skip?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And I remember watching the first time he won it because I was in Miami when it happened, and I went nuts being a 10-year-old Jewish kid watching this Jewish wrestler who gets beat day in and day out.
Yep.
And all of a sudden he pulls off a win, and then he gets a pay-per-view match at SummerSlam, and his friggin' theme music is Hava Nagila!
Yep.
the bar mitzvah dancing song. I love it for the fact that it was stereotypical and prejudice, and it was just incredible.
I'm reading his stats here, and he registered 50 singles victories in his career with the WWE. Oh my gosh. And he was super over, man. You used to tune in to Superstars, and it's Hulk Hogan going up against Barry Horowitz, and you're like, who's gonna win this match?
Yeah, back when I was training in MIWC, one of the exercises we would do is we would put wrestlers' names into a hat, and we would have to pick them out, and then we would have to work a match as the person. And I drew Barry Horowitz.
Oh, what were the odds?
And the guy I was working with chose Jim Duggan. And I go get my towel, I go pat myself on the back, and they're like, "You're doing it wrong." I'm like, "I can't contort my arm. I'm not Alexa Bliss."
I'm surprised Taker Austin 97 didn't get picked.
98.
98.
Oh yeah, 98. Yeah.
But
98
honestly,
because
that match wasn't maybe lived up to the hype that
Oh,
it was.
I mean, it went 22 minutes, and it's one of the few times the old school has ever been countered.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
The match that I got from '98 was that I considered was Rock versus Triple H.
Triple H, yeah. The absolute standout. I thought maybe we'd see one of the two triple threats from '99 and 2000.
The Mick Foley win, yeah.
And then, I mean, you have Triple H connecting '99 to 2000. One with Mankind and Austin, and then the next year with Rock and Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
Or Angle off.
There was so many from
2003. 01 or 02. Yeah.
I'm also kind of some reason I thought someone would pick Test versus Shane McMahon, the lover or leaver match.
I would sort of choose that there was part between Edge and Matt Hardy and Kane. Was it Matt Hardy and Kane? Yeah.
No, that was Hardy. That wasn't Hardy and Edge in 2005.
No, it was Kane and Hardy.
Oh my God, I am a complete idiot.
The 2004.
Oh my God. Why did I not pick Hogan HBK?
Yeah, that would have been one to pick.
That's another one.
Oh man, because I was at the Raw the night after, and the show started immediately with Shawn Michaels basically telling everybody, "Okay, I'm a face again."
Yeah.
Well, just a lot of people. He was still the face. I mean, I was still in my kid wrestling phase, and even though he was, the bad guy towards Hulk Hogan, I still didn't view him as a bad guy.
I mean, that will forever go down in history as the match that teaches people how not to sell.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. 100%, man. It's like in a way, Sean was like spinning in the face of fans to me when I watched that match, because we all know Hulk Hogan's from that 80s era and probably the golden era of wrestling. And it just felt like James was saying, he was a kid at that point. Remember, like back in 04, I'm like in my 20s, in my early 20s. And I remember Hulk Hogan being that 10-year-old kid at WrestleMania 6 and seeing his run in WCW. So when Shawn Michaels did that, I was glad that Shawn played the heel more than Hulk did, because we would have seen that whole stupid Hollywood thing again for like the 800th time. But I just didn't like when Shawn came out the next night and was like, yeah, just absolve me of what I've done for the last 2-3 months. I'm now, love me again. That's the only thing I didn't like.
Yeah, I really, given what was going on at the time, I really think, as much as it was a history-making match, I really would have thought it would have made more sense to put Randy Orton against
Yeah,
Hogan in 2005,
yes, that would have
considering
made more sense completely.
instead of 2006, where it was just easily forgotten.
Well, did anyone wrestle Hulk Hogan? I can't remember.
Yes, 2006.
2006, yeah.
Wow, like I totally blanked on that.
Yeah, and Brooke was involved.
Yeah.
That's right. You're absolutely right.
Yep. The RKO in the parking
Off
lot.
the car.
Yeah. All right. One thing that shocked me was that there were so many matches from 2003. I did not expect that.
2003, I think, was one of the best wrestle SummerSlams, top to bottom.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
2003 was, really, it was really a great year for the big pay-per-views. I mean, WrestleMania 19, I think, is still one of the greatest WrestleManias of all time.
Oh yeah.
And and also it's really the start of seeing SummerSlam as the potential field for a WrestleMania main event rematch.
And you know what the
Yeah.
funny thing that got me with that was? And I'm dating myself now. That was the first summer. That was the first paid preview I ever remember watching live. It was 2003. So I actually have good memories of 2003 SummerSlam.
You had the Elimination Chamber match on that card.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that
And
very well. Oh. I think Metallica was the theme song as well, same angle.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, and that will conclude our SummerSlam Showdown Tournament bracket reveal. The Twitter poll will be from Wrestling with E, and you can find that poll a little later today, the first matches. So you don't want to miss that. You want to definitely go to the Twitter page, follow. You'll get to see all the notifications from us when the tournament matches come out. Until then, Drew, can you tell us where we can find the Gr8ful Yardy podcast and you personally on social media?
All right, social media, you can find me on Twitter, that is DWrestling99. On Instagram, Drew_Wrestling99. Got a Facebook page, facebook.com/Gr8ful Yardy, and Grateful is spelled GR8FUL. To find the podcast, go on to Anchor.fm, Apple Podcasts, Podcast Addict, Spotify, and wherever else you get your favorite podcasts.
And if you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment, vote on YouTube and Castbox. This, of course, was sponsored by Rogue Energy. Use promo code WrestlingWithE for 10% off your next purchase. And join us this Wednesday for Bam Bam Malone. We'll finally interviewing that guy. And of course, you can follow us individually as well. We're definitely going to be retweeting the tournament matches out as they happen. You can follow me at JamesJ993. Where can they find Kaliko?
I am Kaliko. I'm surprised Cena Punk 2011 didn't get picked.
And where can they find Scooter?
As always, you can find me at Scooter Dust, and of course, you can find me multiple places on Twitch these days. Twitch.tv/Smoking Dragons with me and Rico Constantino Jr. and Twitch.tv/Kawaii Guy playing some Team Fortnite, Among Us, Knockout City, whatever. Come and join. Both are welcoming communities. Come and join us.
For our special guest, Drew, Kaliko Yacht, Scooter Dust, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling with Entertainment.
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.